Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. How you guys doing, my friends? How is all the warriors out there doing? I hope you guys are conquesting yourselves, conquesting things around you, and following God's purposes. I hope life is treating you well, my friends, and it's good to always get a chance to talk with you. Now, we got a couple of... I was able to do some updating on shoutouts and things like that, so we'll kind of go through those in a second. Also, some topics coming up. A great testimony here from Smiling Reaper. I'm going to kind of go through that in one of the other episodes, but a lot of good stuff about afraid of talking to beautiful women, releasing while you're sleeping. We got transmuting, flatlinings. A lot of people have a number of different issues, so we're going to talk about those in coming episodes. All right, so let's go to shoutouts real fast here. Gunner M, thank you, my friend. Darkless77, Moy Hernandez, Harold Merewether, new job, congratulations, my friend. Digital Sandbox, thank you. Vanda G, good, thank you. Jon the Dawn, Publication Channel. Bob Hassa says I need a new mic. You're probably right about that. And by the way, I'm gonna try to do some updating, at least of logos and screenshots. I'm almost at 5,000, so you guys deserve a little bit more than what I'm giving you from a technology standpoint. I'm not very good at technology, but we're gonna try to continue doing that. Plus, I'm gonna try to at least get myself set up where we can do regular broadcasting, not just on a phone and things like that. We'll get there. Cheng 5, feel comfortable listening to you. Thank you so much, Cheng. I appreciate that. Vasquez looks looking lean. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Volk 4200. God bless. God bless you too, my friend. Oleg, thank you, my friend. I think I said that. Oleg, I think so. I appreciate that. Lightning the Dark and Austin Roberts. All right, so guys, the 2-minute mark. Here is an interesting one, and you guys are going to this might be controversial. I mean, who knows? We get taken off the air or something on this one. But we had several people. Tyler Johnson on Da Boosters have talked about this a little bit. What is the purpose of women on semen retention? So you ask yourself the question, and I think, it's a great question to ask. I mean, if you're not having sex, you're not releasing, why do we need women? And it's a good question. If you look at it from the perspective of how the world is acting and treating men and women. If you look at the world, you could say to yourself, okay, well, if they're not good for pleasure here and there, and they're not good for that kind of stuff, what do we need them for? If you're not having sex, or you're not having, if you're not releasing, what good is women or men around? And it's a legitimate question in our society, because all you see is this blue matrix of the media saying you have to have intercourse every night of the week, you have to release to be healthy, you have to, do these type of behaviors. You have to gamble to be healthy. You've got to, that's the right thing to do. You got to drink, you have parties and fun. All this kind of stuff is meant to sell things to you, my friends. It is not really reality, in my opinion. Now, I went 59 years thinking it was reality. So it's only been the last 4 years now of going on a streak and working through things that I finally kind of figured out a lot of the stuff is not. And so I'll give you my insights on this as we talk about. First of all, I want to say that I have the utmost respect for women, my wife and daughters and all kind of women friends. I have lots of women friends as well, in the workplace, outside the workplace. But the thing is this, and males, I know 99% of people listening to this are males, so we're talking male warriors here. The basic bottom line, guys, is that the world, in my opinion, is wrong when you sit there and put women on a pedestal. When you think women are your whole life, that puts you at a low power. You have to learn how to ignore women not in a mean way or anything like that, but you got to focus on yourself. Now, women are wonderful, as anybody's wonderful, when it comes to companionship, talking, warm types of things, and hugging. There's no wrong with some of that. Obviously, we talk about contact and leading to temptation, things like that, and you have to be careful of that kind of stuff, of course. But the bottom line, really, guys, is that the world we see now is different, in my opinion, than the world that really we should be looking at. The world we should be looking at, and I know this is an extreme maybe a feeling, is the fact that the only reason you're having sex, you should have a sex. Now, once again, you're talking about crazy people call them cultists and things like that. They're calling us all kinds of stuff. The bottom line is you should only be having sex to procreate. Now, I know that's a crazy thought in this world of blitzing people, talking about, having intercourse here, having all this kind of stuff. And the bottom line really is that the media world is telling you got to have intercourse. You're not really a man unless you're able to have and bet a lot of women. We went through that through all the 60s last year, the 1960s and 70s and all that kind of stuff, all the free love and all kinds of stuff that I saw as a kid. And the whole idea is that the idea that's being pushed is that you've got to have intercourse and sex to be a man. Now, the bottom line really is the Bible doesn't talk about doing that and having one-night stands all over the place. The Bible talks about having children and knowing women and knowing men. And in that case, you're having children, procreating. Now, beyond that, there's nothing wrong with, making love to people. But the bottom line really is that should not be the sole purpose of having a woman or a man. The real bottom line should be when you are with somebody, you're enjoying their company, their companionship, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So the first thing I've got to say, in my opinion about this kind of stuff, and I've changed my tune over the years, is the fact that you're not really looking for companionship to have sex and intercourse. Warriors should be looking for women who build them up, encourage them. Now, if that happens along the way, that's wonderful. And to all you warriors, I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing this stuff. Obviously, temptation and energy loss, that's important. You've got to keep that in mind as well. But the bottom line really is when you're looking at this is that women are not just there to have intercourse with, just like men are not just there to have intercourse with. So when you look at the situation, you've got to take a step back first. And you got to say to yourself, what's the purpose of men and women? And you go back to the days of even Adam and Eve and all the biblical talks and we talk about here. And you're looking at women who will bear children because that's what women do, bear children. But the purpose is to use your energy to procreate. So beyond that, you're building relationships, you're building things with people, you're building families, you're building things like that. And that kind of stuff, the love making, those things are part of it, but it's not the whole thing. And I think this is where warriors, young warriors, especially, I was like this when I was younger too, are misled. That is not the basis of a relationship. In fact, that can destroy relationships if too early. Intimacy is too early, it can hurt relationships. And so, in my opinion, the first thing you got to do is take a look at a perspective and say, okay, my purpose of having a girlfriend or a wife or something like that is, yes, to have kids, especially the wife, but not to just have, not the purpose is just to have because she looks good, I'm going to have intercourse with her all the time. That's not the main reason you should be, in my opinion, again, a warrior looking at a woman. Now, the other aspect of this, too, is that as you're under semen retention, and we have a lot of people talking about streaks they've had, and like I said, I like the breakdown that Smiling Reaper had, and I'll talk about that. He has a tremendous text that he sent me with all the benefits that's happened to him. It's the same ones that we all experience when we do this for a long period of time. What you're looking at, guys, is that your wanting of women from a sexual standpoint decreases. It decreases a great deal. Because the idea is that you don't need to have sex to, live. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's nice to have. And obviously when you procreate, you need to do that. But the bottom line is that you realize as time goes on, it's not as an important thing. And as you retain more and more and more, you're getting closer to God, you're becoming less important to the flesh. And so basic pleasures, those things go out the window. Those things are not as important. And as time goes on, you become stronger with the Lord because I believe, once again, one reason the main reason I'm doing this is to get closer to God. So as you're monk mode, as you're doing no fat more, as you're doing, brahmacharya, all those things, celibacy, you are working towards a higher level, a spiritual level. And because of that, the superficial, the fleshly things you don't need. And so you don't need women to just have intercourse. Now, the spirit is connecting. That's wonderful. And you can connect with a lot of different people that way. But you don't necessarily have to just have, release your energy all the time with them. And in fact, as you're retaining more, you end up thinking about this less. Now, they will be more attracted to you because of that very reason. And we talked about that in videos before. But now you become a person to say, okay, I can have female friends, we can talk, we can associate, things like that. But I'm not interested in basically, having, intercourse with you or releasing my energy. Now, because of that, women may be upset. They may stay with you. They may become friends. They may not. Well, you'll have lots to choose from because women sense the energy. Women are attracted to you because your confidence is growing. And as your confidence grows, then you become a stronger person. So it's a combination of confidence, retention, a lot of those things we talk about, taking care of yourself. And so you become a lot more attractive person. Because of that, all of a sudden women will come to you. But if you can handle it in a way, and it's taken me a long, long time, guys, to be able to finally say, I'm not interested in sleeping with people. I'm interested in developing friendships and whatever you want to call it, associations with people. And it's a flattering thing when people search me out and want to talk to me. That's wonderful. But the bottom line is that your self-control is allowing you to make that decision to say, women play an important part of my life, whether it's wife, daughters, children, friends, whatever it might be. But they do not create your identity. Your identity is by what you do. You're on your purpose. You're on your goals. You are with God. God is number one, right? Family should obviously be number two. Then you come work and friends and all that. So the whole idea, guys, we're talking about, it's great questions you guys ask. But guys, I think we have to do a paradigm shift, they call it. A whole attitude shift. The fact that I'm saying, what I'm really saying to you is that sex is not that important. And I know that's a hard reality in this world we see, where we see sex on TV all the time, sex on the internet all the time in one form or another, right? Attractiveness, how people look. This all goes back to the same sexual thing that Abraham Maslow talked about with the social factor and trying to get people to react to something because they see something that's attractive, right? But the bottom line is that all that temptation is coming from the evil one. That is an evil one saying you should go ahead and create sin if you're married and have an affair, or you're basically creating sin if you're sleeping with somebody and you're having a pregnancy or something that's unwanted. All those type of things, or just sleeping around with people. I got people talking about body counts of 100 and things like that. How can you actually kind of have a soul left when you do all that kind of stuff? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that question because I'm not in that spot, But the bottom line is that, and I've always felt you should develop friendships with, especially with women, before you actually kind of do anything intimate like that. And so the bottom line, guys, really is when you're looking at this, it's a paradigm shift you're looking for. Making love, those things are wonderful things to do. Women are wonderful. But the bottom line is you gotta keep it in perspective, right? Your priority first should be God and making yourself the best you can be, the best high-value male you can make. If a woman wants to come along and work with you, and she shows an interest in you, develop a friendship, and then you call the shot of when you want to do something with the person, especially if you end up getting married and want to have children. But that should not control your life. Sex should not control your life. In a society, it's very easy that it will control your life because it's all you see. This is why I don't watch TV too much anymore. I don't watch anything because it bothers me in some ways when I go back and finally watch a football game, or I'm watching, some kind of show and I see the commercials and I see all this stuff on the internet. It is just amazing because it sells, because people want to see this kind of stuff. But it's not good for you. It's not good to kind of indulge and make your mind start focusing on that this is a high priority. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case. It doesn't mean you're weird. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just means that you're focusing on yourself. Your mind is focusing on yourself. It doesn't mean you can't have a strong drive, which is important. It's always important, especially when you're trying to use the Fountain of Youth book with Kelder. It's good to have a strong drive, but you're transmuting it because it's not that important to release it. And obviously, it's more important to keep in your body and transmuting it. So the bottom line as we talk about this, guys, is that the purpose of women is to really be companions. And not to just be objects or people that you're going to, sleep with or things like that. God will give you people in your life who will help you. But you also have to have the self-control to say, okay, I'm not going to just release my energy unless I really want to have children. Now, I realize that's very archaic. That's a very old-fashioned way to look at things, but maybe we need some more older times. And so this is the Vigor Warrior 2 saying we need some older times. 2 things I always leave with you, my friends. Always a good discussion. I hope you guys got something out of this one. First of all, every day is a new day to a great warrior, and you guys are all great warriors out there. Even though you may disagree, I respect you mostly, and I hope you guys continue to work well and do the things that you believe, and you come to the decisions you need to make. Secondly, my friends, as always, we got to continue that temptation watch, making sure we're not going to get caught up, and we got to continue to battle